Are you still with me, aka Patters? Here we go. Have you ever seen this? Armageddon Now, World War III. Hardback, published by Image Comics. And here's the crazy thing. It's a book one. It's a book one. Raise your hand if you think we ever got a book two. AKA Patters, time to talk about Liefeld. It's YouTube. You know what to expect. All systems are go.
Looking for handcrafted sandwiches with homemade ingredients? Come to Capriati's, where our...
And then here we go. AKA Patters. Guys. How you destroy your Monday morning. It's not being stuck in a single spot with the lappy laptop open, doing all the lappy laptop work and taking calls and talking to people that if you could punch them through the cell phone, you would. But guess what? It's not any of that. It's not me getting the sore behind, sitting down in a singular position, almost being forced to sit down for too long. Well, guys, there's a salary attached to that. No. If you want to destroy your morning, you bring up Rob Liefeld. You talk about Rob Liefeld. If the internet exists, if comic book YouTube exists in this sphere, in this mud ball that we have, if it exists for one reason, it's going to be to crap on Mr. Liefeld. But we don't just do that here. We do the good, we do the bad. This is a weird time in the career arc for Mr. Rob Liefeld. I don't want to get into issues I have with this book, with the release, with how they sold it, with why they sold it, with who he sold it with. Because we have a name here, Phil Hotsenpiller. We never know who this guy is. He's not even a comic book guy. This Phil over here, he's like an Armageddonist. He's an end of times author, lecturer. Yeah, and we're not criticizing the source material, the ideas for this book. Now, I'm talking about the holy book. I'm talking about the Bible. We don't do that here. We don't trash religion on this channel. But we trash cults. And there's a cult of Rob Liefeld. So here's the thing. I'm going to make a deal with you. If we're going to do more with this book and more with this era of Rob Liefeld, which I call the SCAM era, the scam era of Mr. Liefeld, where he, like a mook, he tries everything he can to sell books. He really does. And if it wasn't for that Deadpool movie, like he just would have faded away. But Marvel had to get him on some of those Deadpool books. And anyway, so guys, let's hit the drawing table and let's talk about Armageddon Now, Book 1, and Rob Liefeld's name is right there. His name's here, but yeah, let's crack it. Let's just crack it open and see some of these other names. Maybe. I don't know, guys. Was that good? Was that good? Was that good? I mean, is this too much? See, there's a lot to dissect with Mr. Liefeld in this era. We're going to do just more and more on how to classify, how to speak of, and how to define errors. It's a tough thing to do. Because, like, just for a quick example, you guys know that Crypt is one of the mascots, not only of this drawing table, but of this channel. And Rob Liefeld, he will champion, we'll just leave that right here. Rob Liefeld will champion collaboration and working with people, and Marvel should treat him better. That's what we've recently been hearing. Marvel's been bad to Rob Liefeld. He should treat him better. But see, we have Rob Liefeld here, like on... Yeah, right? And we can argue that the Rob Liefeld name, like that's going to get people interested. That's going to sell it. And, we can even maybe forgive him for putting just his name and Hotsenpiller on the spine. But if we go to the back, you would think, 12 Gates Productions. You would think that there's a little bit of, like a thank you. Like a thank you to, look at this. Look, even here. I mean, right? We should have other names. And we're going to get to it. Because look at the names. Rob Liefeld, right? He gives himself credit for the story. Phil writes it. Rob Liefeld co-writes the script. So Liefeld's already like interject. This is a weird block here, AK Powers. Let me know if I'm being too hyperbolic. Artwork, Rob Liefeld, Murat Michaels. Wow, and look, Murat Michaels right there. Digital painting, Mike Capriotti, Emily Warren, Matt Yackey, Matt Swift, Jaru Wembley. Here's the crazy thing. And look, lettering, Murat Michaels. 12 Gates founding members, Mike, Rob Liefeld, Michael Gadd. So these books were sold in churches and all these other things, right? They were sold through a little bit of a fever that end of times lecturers kick up. And this is his whole business. And we're not, he's a pastor. So, right, like we gotta give him credit, right? Like we're not here to knock the book, the great book, the holy book, the Bible. But there is a little bit of an industry that comes up through the end of times period. So we have Rob Liefeld here. He's, he goes to this guy's church. They get together and they convince Image Comics and they put this together. Here's the wild thing. I have to do it. I feel like I gotta speak for the trees. Murat Michaels, from what I can tell, deserves billing. Mike Capriotti here, who did some fantastic G.I. Joe work at one time, before G.I. Joe got destroyed by IDW and then later kicked in the teeth by Skybound. Sorry, guys. I know some of you like that work. Matt Yackey, too, though, real quick side note, incredible colorist. So, two of these guys. Now, I can't speak of everyone else. I can speak on Murat Michaels because I know not only do I know his career, I know his style. And comparatively speaking, for a quick example, this looks like Murat Michaels. This looks like Murat Michaels. How can you tell? Well, when you look at enough comics, okay, when some comics give you a boner, you can identify styles. Okay, if comic books don't give you a boner, back off of that conversation. So Murat Michaels works with Liefeld to get the visuals for this set up for our painters. And we go to Matt Yackey. And Matt Yackey later did work with Rob Liefeld. He was on the Rob Liefeld payroll for quite some time. And so was Mike Capriotti, which is who we're looking at here. And here's the thing. Mike Capriotti did this Team Bloodstrike backup that was scripted by Mark Poulton, by the way. And it's one of visually like the best looking things Rob Liefeld's ever done. We know, if anyone that's worked in digital, you know how little Rob Liefeld's indicating for the painter here, right? Like the painter's coming in and they're making this. Mr. Capriotti, that makes me want to have a sandwich. This is Capriotti. This is his vision. But he gets no credit. And then here's the wild thing. Rob Liefeld being so inconsistent, so broken, right? We want to say on page 2, we have Murat Michaels. And Murat Michaels kind of has his own separate team. So this is almost like Team Liefeld, because Liefeld will always get the better colorist or painter no matter what. But Murat Michaels, like this could be Emily Warren. And we have a more airbrush. Like this is like early 2000s, like computer generated, things that just sit on the comic book shelf that every comic book store would order 1 or 2 of. This artwork is still in the dollar bins, period. And I'm just talking about the style of artwork. And then we get yet another. So we're 3 spreads in, and we have 3 separate painters. I could be wrong, but then we're back to Mike Capriotti. We can tell just by his highlights. But we get a sweeping story. We get a Antichrist, end of days. The locusts are coming. Right? It's all of these things. People burning. But you guys can see how the artwork wavers. And so much of this is not Rob Liefeld. So much of this, that's not Liefeld. Like, how much of this did he really draw? How much of this can he be credited towards? Because it's not like we know Rob Liefeld for any buildings in the course of human history. So Mike Capriotti comes in and he puts in his perspective lines because he's a wizard with the computer. The guy is a colorist, creative genius. At this time, I thought Mike Capriotti was going to almost take over a side of comic book visual. I thought he was going to be the next big painter. I thought he was going to be the next big digital guy. There's a little bit of hubris and why, I don't know. I think he's a local guy. He might be a Jersey dude. I don't know. I really don't care. Please don't be a Jersey dude, Mike. But some of these, we can see the Rob Liefeld in some of the faces. But as soon as we have to rotate the face, we have trouble. And we get some Rob Liefeld. We call these twin shots or mirror shots because you can split them like a mirror. You can cut it down, hold the mirror up. It's a mirror shot. And here we go, Mike Capriotti. Rocking it. It makes you want to look up that G.I. Joe artwork, doesn't it? But we have the history of our hero. Here we have, I don't know, it's a cut and paste. But these guys are given pages. So here's the wild thing, and this is what we can tell. Because I do feel like there's a full script for this. These digital painters, they have to make stuff work. It's almost like, hey, we're sorry, the guys we have setting up the artwork for you are incapable. And we have a Marat Michaels who, I would assume if this could be a Marat page, by the way. We know the Marat pages just from the lack. For example, say we turn the page and we see a Capriotti page. We turn the page, we see a Capriotti page. We go here. This is clearly a team, like a B team page. And these people have to make it work, right? It's almost like, hey, Matt, get this shit done. Give it to your guys. Just get it done. And it takes away a little bit of what the story could be with this style artwork. This is where you have to make the argument that deadlines don't mean shit. They don't mean anything. Because this is Liefeld being Liefeld. And he's working with Capriotti. And they're singing together. But we clearly see how Capriotti is able to round the Liefeld faces here. He does so much. He even makes Rob Liefeld he goes over Rob Liefeld with this horse, and he makes you believe that Rob Liefeld could draw a horse. But then, look, we turn the page, and then we get these. It's so frustrating. Because if this is our book, I would really argue that Rob Liefeld, he was a part of a masterpiece. He was a part of a full arc. And he, but he's drawing every other spread page here. And it's a little, that's where it's frustrating. Because this could have redefined Rob Liefeld's career. I really believe that. So we get a couple pages. And Capriotti's probably able to take small sketches of Liefeld and blow them up. Make them high enough resolution for, detail and painting. And they get it done. But then we get this. this is all of this is Murat Michaels. Murat Michaels. Rob Liefeld. And we get some fantastic stuff. And for comic fans, this was important because we always heard about Rob Liefeld and the preacher and the gospel stuff, and we knew his father was involved with it. Like, we knew Rob Liefeld was around Bible thumpers. And I'm not knocking like that at all being like a thing, okay? But see, we see here like where like this is a Capriati page. And you know, like this is a Rob Liefeld face, but this isn't. Like, it's just not. See, Rob Liefeld face, you know. Like, if you spend enough time with it, you can idea. Murat Michaels. And we do get some of these cheap shots. Like, this is a cheap spread page. This is cheap. I mean, every once in a while, like, you want hero shots. And you want, you know, if the girl's a character, you want girl shots. And, you know, these are, like, we're working off of quick layouts here. We're working off of very loose stuff. But you would think if Mike Capriati could do this with Rob Liefeld, that he can make Rob Liefeld artwork look like this, you would think he would never not work with Liefeld ever again. That Rob Liefeld, like, if Rob Liefeld evolved and this was his, like, new style, like another phase, and he did, like, a true round of work with this, we would relabel his career. We would retrack his career. Here we have nothing but thumbnails. You can tell by the detail. These are just thumbnail, thumbnail, thumbnail. Quick stuff. And then, like, again, like this, the gloss. And it's almost like, I don't want to call this airbrushing. To me, this is almost like it's like too bright. It's almost like 4K painting. Like, there's no errors rendered in this as of just like light diffusion or anything. Yeah, like, and look, we have some like a weird texture. Like, this is, I don't want to say this is student level, but this is student level. Then look, we have I guess we have Ron Burgundy right here. Ron Burgundy. Rob Liefeld draws Ron Burgundy. See, and then we have just Murat Michaels, and then the coloring is just butchered. Like, this is where, when you truly have like vision in the studio, when you have like your names, right? And let's just say Mike Capriati is like the style. Like, as a studio, you have to tell Murat Michaels to draw just like Rob Liefeld. And you have to have all the other digital painters paint just like Mike. Like, you need art direction. And art direction would be Rob Liefeld and Mike Capriati. And it's hard. Here we go. We get a Rob Liefeld face here. But not by Matt Yackee. I mean, not by Capriati. Not by Capriati here. So Capriati now is out. I always like, no joke, AK Powers. I was looking at a pair of sweatpants that were the Desert Storm pattern. I love the Desert Storm pattern for clothes. And I was just getting them just to like lounge around. I would never leave the house. Never leave the house with sweatpants, aka powders. So we get this, and then we get some more by Mike Capriati. Just get some, I don't know, guys. Like, here's some rubble stuff. Like, there it is. Yeah, and look, he draws like divisions. He paints divisions. And then, like, the Antichrist, the evil guy, laughs at the end, and it's not even a Rob Liefeld. It's drawn by Murat Michaels. I mean, it sputters, like, this hand here, like, no definition here, like, no knuckles, no. I mean, you have to kind of, I think some of this looks like Capriati. This could be Capriati's, like, just looking at this could be some of his like underpainting. But this here though is like, what are we doing here? This is 1,000% frustrating because people through this guy's church, they sold this to them, and people spent money for this, and people like in a way again like the end of times stuff is very important because it's to like understand that times will end, and we have to. Like we take that into consideration with our day-to-day lives. I feel like, again, like a lot of the context of this is highly important. But this was also pushed to comic fans. This was pushed on Image Comics. So, it is the Rob Liefeld scammer era. More to come on this, guys, just so you know.